Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mommy's Reading. I'm Randa and I am reading. Finally. It has been a long few days. We have the flu going around in our house, so please excuse that I did not bother doing anything with my hair today. It wasn't happening. I've told you I have 4 children and the flu is going around. So the past few days, I have been basically wading through vomit, like throw up everywhere, guys. Everywhere. I did not know a 10-year-old stomach, and she's small for a 10-year-old. I did not know their stomach could hold as much as what was on our floors. I mean, everywhere. Everywhere. Just everywhere. The 2-year-old, strangely enough, handled it better than the 10-year-old. Anyway, that's probably more than you needed to know. But yeah, the flu, it was bad. It was just, yeah, mommy's drinking is what mommy's doing. This is my vice of choice. Just Coke. There's actually no alcohol in it. But I'm going to drink it from the bottle, from the 2-liter bottle. So, also, the good news is I published a book, and that has been overshadowed by the flu. But my book is out. Finally. It is book 3 in a series, and it has been a long time coming because after the second book came out, I split with my publisher, and then I got pregnant, and then I was on, like, it was a very difficult pregnancy, and then I had a newborn, and then I had a toddler, and now he's finally he's finally in daycare half days, 4 days a week, which gave me time to actually write, which was nice, you know. So, yay. I think that deserves another drink. Flu and publishing. They both equally deserve a drink. Anyway, you know what I do when I'm stressed? I read. I do. I read. I know that's shocking to hear. So, apparently what I've missed, however, in the States, the new craze, the Bridgerton series on Netflix. I can't get Netflix here. It requires the use of a VPN because it's blocked by China's firewall. So I haven't gotten to see it, and I cannot tell you how bummed I am that I have not seen it, because if you've watched my newbie tag, the very first video I posted, you know that I only brought a select few of my print books with me from the States when I moved to China, because books are heavy. They're hard to move. They're expensive to move. So I only brought a few. However, of those that I brought, I have It's in His Kiss, which is of the Bridgerton series. And, oh, where'd the other one go? There it is. Also, When He Was Wicked of the Bridgerton series. On my Kindle, I have the rest of the Bridgerton series. So I was so bummed that I couldn't watch the first series of the Bridgertons on Netflix. I've watched all the reviews. I've checked out all the YouTube videos, the one set to music, just where people will randomly make these videos about Simon and Daphne's relationship, and I'm crying that I didn't get to see it. But I do love what I've seen. I especially love the hero, the guy they chose to play Simon. Have you seen? Okay, if you have not seen one of the reaction videos, it's this guy. It's going around on Facebook. I'll have to post a link to it, but it was great. But he says in this is a man, a heterosexual man, saying that they chose the greatest looking guy. That if he had to choose one guy to repopulate the earth, he would choose that guy. He's like, no, I wouldn't choose myself, because that guy, that guy is perfection. And so I have to agree, he is awesome. I don't even know his name. I should probably have found that out before I did this video. Maybe I'll put it in the description. I don't know. I assume you already know, because everyone else in the world seems to have seen the Bridgerton series, but everyone but me. Anyway, I decided not to do a review on the Bridgerton series, because so many people are watching the Netflix series right now that you know how it goes when you put a book onto film, and so many people, the purists, are like, no, they got it all wrong. So I did not want to get into those kinds of discussions, like, oh, they got this wrong in the film, or they didn't put this part in the book, or this was totally different in the book, or anything like that. I like to appreciate a film based on its merits as a film, rather than based on what the book was. So I don't want to get into that. However, I do want to talk about one of Julia Quinn's other books. So Julia Quinn is the only historical romance writer that I really like reading. I have read others, but if you don't know already, I'm just not a big historical romance fan. I don't particularly have a problem with it. I prefer contemporary and paranormal. I feel like the historical ones I don't like to read because the restrictions on a female's character, such as say Lizzie Bennet. In the film, I know I just said I don't like to compare books to film, but just as an example, more people probably know the film than know the actual novel. But in the film, Lizzie Bennet's character, played by Keira Knightley, is extremely outspoken and brash, and she can be kind of abrasive. That's not permitted. And back then, that kind of behavior is not permitted. And I don't like to read restrained female characters, I guess. I want to be able to read a female character who can act on the strength and feelings and everything else that she has inside her, and perform that way. Not to say that I do not enjoy Jane Austen. She is my absolute favorite author of all time. You will never convince me that she is not the greatest influence on modern literature. She has been the greatest influence. Her story, not just her stories, but they are timeless. Over and over, we see reincarnations of those stories. But I also believe that her writing was it was beautiful. And I feel like the writing in Julia Quinn's books is kind of an echo of that. And that is the highest compliment I could possibly pay. Julia Quinn writes in such a way that it kind of brings Jane Austen into a more modern age, without doing like the 2005 film where they make the characters too feminist. Is that the proper way to say it? I don't want to say too feminist as in a bad thing, but I'm saying for the time, she would not have been allowed to behave the way she did. I need another drink. Anyway, it's been a long few days, guys. I don't know if I told you, but the flu is in our house. Anyway, so I absolutely love Julia Quinn's stories. They're simple, but they're fun, and they are just so well written. Her language is so good. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, a lot like Jane Austen, but a little more obvious than Jane Austen was. Jane Austen, sometimes it takes a little, like a few read-throughs to really catch all of her subtle humor, or her subtle digs too. I love Jane Austen, but Julia Quinn, I think, is probably I would go as far as to say she's the modern day Jane Austen. That's as far as I would go. And I don't even like historical novels, but I like Julia Quinn. Anyway, one of her favorites, and what I've read recently, during the plague invading our house, is this one. It is called What Happens in London. Now, this is set in the same world as the Bridgertons. It has the Smith-Smythe concerts, but this book it's just so it's fun. It's a simple story, but it has some kind of it has some more fantastical elements to it, but it's done in a really funny, cute way. Let me read the back to you. Okay. Rumors and gossip, the lifeblood of London. When Olivia Bevilstoke is told that her new neighbor may have killed his fiancé, she doesn't believe it for a second. But still, how can she help spying on him, just to be sure? So she stakes out a spot near her bedroom window, cleverly concealed by curtains, watches and waits, and discovers the most intriguing man who is definitely up to something. Sir Harry Valentine works for the boring branch of the War Office, translating documents vital to national security. He's not a spy, but he's had all the training, and when a gorgeous blonde begins to watch him from her window, he is instantly suspicious. But just when he decides that she's nothing more than an annoyingly nosy debutante, he discovers that she might be engaged to a foreign prince who might be plotting against England. And when Harry is roped into spying on Olivia, he discovers that he might be falling for her himself. It's such a good book, guys. If you have not read this and you like the Bridgerton series, you like Julia Quinn, or just if you're looking for a cute read, if you've never read Julia Quinn before, this is a great one to start with. It's not a Bridgerton series, but honestly, this is probably my favorite of hers. I really want you to check it out. So what happens in this? Olivia is not... I love the female characters set back in these times, in the Regency era. I love the ones who like science and who like more practical matters. She reads the newspaper rather than the gossip sheets. She doesn't want to participate in gossip when her friends are over and talking about it. And I enjoy that. But she's also, remember, she's young, just like, Regency era heroines tend to be. So she does have a little bit of naivety and immaturity to her. But it's really well done. I don't want to give away too much, but the intrigue and the mystery in this are just, they're not a major part of the plot, but they make it fun. They make it funny. And the things that Harry does when he realizes she's watching him, he'll do things, just outrageous things, just to be entertaining. She doesn't know that that's why he's doing it. She thinks that she's been so clever watching from her window, and Harry has been like pretending to throw things into the fire, like important things into the fire. At one point, I think the best thing that he did was he wore like funny hats just so she would wonder why he was doing that. I think he stood on his desk and did like an oration or a monologue of some sort while wearing one of his funny hats, just because it was funny. And then near the end, the way that he proposes, because shocking, I know, they get together and it's a happily ever after. So I'm not spoiling anything when I say he proposes, but the way he proposes kind of, pays homage to the way that they first became aware of each other. Not when they met, but when they became aware of each other. It's a great book. I definitely recommend this book. I definitely recommend Julia Quinn. I recommend Jane Austen as well. If you have not read Jane Austen and you enjoy Julia Quinn, by all means, go check out Jane Austen. Pride and Prejudice and Emma are my favorite books of all time. And this, I think, ranks right really, really close to them. Although I will say Julia Quinn is probably easier to read. Jane Austen, I love her, but it is difficult to get in to the language that she uses, that kind of way of writing. It takes a chapter to kind of get into that. So, what else? Have another drink. Hold on, let me have a drink. You can have a drink too. Before my 2-year-old wakes up or throws up. It could go either way. So, if you have watched the Bridgerton series, what did you think? I've loved watching the reaction videos, and I've loved watching the trailers and all the different advertisements and the posts people make with, like, they make a video montage of the relationship between Daphne and Simon. So, yeah, let me know what you thought of it. If you've read What Happens in London, let me know what you thought of that one. It's great. Comment below. If you like this video, you like to talk about books, please hit subscribe. And apparently, I'm supposed to tell you to hit the bell. So, bell. Every time the subscribe button dings, every time a subscribe button rings, a book gets its wings. Books don't get wings. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I will see you later. And I hope you are flu-free and have a good time. Bye.